Hi and welcome back to NPR.
Oh wait, do we start? Hi and welcome. This is the Filler Feed podcast with Eric Jacobson and Nathan. I said my last name because I don't, it's already on my Twitter. My name, as you know, is Eric, and we are at the Filler Feed podcast. And today we're graduating. We're gonna be done with high school after today.
Woo!
We're getting our diploma.
If I had one of those sound makers, I would blow it, but I don't. The ones that
Yeah.
go, me.
Or we could do like radio shows. We could get like a soundboard of just dumb sounds.
Yeah, I've always wanted to run one of those soundboards and just like mess with somebody. Like they're trying to do like a really serious radio talk show, and I'm just like insert a random sound.
Like someone farting and
So yeah. So what episode is this? I don't even know.
oh man, we should have looked
I
that
think
up.
it's like episode 10. If it's
Oh, man,
episode
yeah.
10, wow, that's pretty
That's a
impressive.
special episode.
Yeah, it is episode 10.
Just like it's a special day. So the
Kind
cool
of.
thing about our school is that there was a tragedy many years ago.
There was?
And
Oh.
because of that, we have the opportunity to hang out with all our peers in our class at a nice convention center because they don't want us to go get real
wasted.
hammered and drive around and kill each other.
Yeah.
So, it's almost a requirement. Not necessarily, but
Almost.
they're very strict on it because they don't want us to become another tragedy. So we are going to rock climb and swim and just enjoy our lives and play Magic and be nerds, and it's going to be great.
Yeah.
So that's our tonight.
Yeah, so this podcast is actually a little bit late because Wednesdays are when we regularly do it, and that was graduating day. Like, that was our last day of high school, so we
Yeah.
wanted to just, like, do stuff then. And then Thursday is the first day of summer, so we wanted to do stuff then, too. So, like, we've just been a little bit busy. So Friday we're going to do this show before we actually, like, have the ceremony tonight.
Commencement.
Or as you're watching this, probably last night.
Yeah.
And basically, after that, yeah, like you said, we get to go to this party because in the 80s there was this. I'm pretty sure three students got trashed, I want to say,
Drove.
and then they were driving and they got into a car crash and they died. So
Yep.
now, since then, there's been this sort of all-night grad party, as it's called, where we just go to a location for the entire night and have a ton of fun. And it kind of kills two birds with one stone because, first of all, it's chemical-free. Like, people make sure it's chemical-free so people aren't getting trashed. And second of all, it's just this fun sort of last get-together for everybody before you just go your separate ways.
Yep. So it's fun, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get to hang out with all our peers,
Yeah.
all our
So...
sort of friends.
So this fall, if we're still doing the show, which I'm planning to, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know what your plans are. We'll be doing it from, college dorms as we go
Dorm
to
rooms.
college freshman year.
Which would be killer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to yell at
Um,
my roommate to get out of the room for an hour.
Yeah.
Every-
I don't know how the dorms are gonna go, especially with, like, the fact that I like to record and like talk to myself essentially.
Yeah,
That'd be kind of weird.
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, or I could just choose not to care, and I like that option much better. So we have some gaming stuff to talk about, other than
We do.
just normal, everyday, boring life stuff. So,
So,
I guess before, well, I mean, let's just lead in with our usual lead in, so to speak.
alright.
So what have you been playing this week? And if it's World of Warcraft, which I think it is it World of Warcraft?
No. Yeah, it's definitely World of Warcraft. That's basically all I've been playing, which is really boring of me. But also, I've had little time because I've had to study for finals. So I've been playing Final Study, made by Blizzard.
That's the best game. Completely free to play. You can pick it up anytime. A little bit hard to get into. The learning curve is pretty steep, but
Yeah,
otherwise,
it's definitely steep.
it's worth your time, you know. So you've been playing World of Warcraft. For those listening who are into World of Warcraft, what have you been doing in the game?
So, I recently I've been at a kind of I don't know what to do. So I've been trying to make money, which is hard, especially because I haven't gotten the swing of how to make money yet because they changed a lot of the professions, which kind of changes the way the auction house goes.
Wait, so you roleplay somebody with a job, like a
No.
real?
No, professions are
Oh.
professions is like enchanting, for example. So I could go and destroy my gear, and I get like stuff that I can use, like dust, like in Hearthstone. But I use that dust to like enchant my gear, and I can also just sell those enchants and the dust themselves. So that's what I mean by making money, like just gathering materials and
Okay.
selling them. But I've actually been losing money because I'm trying to level professions on my mage. I'm doing mining and blacksmithing. There goes the hat. So I've lost probably like $4,000, but it's nothing too big. I'm just because I'm gonna make way more money after I get them both maxed. But I've been working on that because I just need to get money, dude. They changed the thing I don't like about this expansion is they changed a lot, and when they even if like you don't expect a lot to come out of the changes, but literally just they have to think of so many things. So like for example, way back when you used to prospect ore, so you would like destroy it and then you'd get gems out of it, and then you'd create those gems into like gems you could put in your gear, which like makes your gear better. And now you don't do that anymore. You just use the ore to make the gems. It's kind of hard to explain, but point being, the that changes the price of everything on the auction house. Like just the fact that it's not as random as it used to be changes the price completely. So a lot of stuff is a lot cheaper now, and it kind of sucks. It's harder to make money, I think.
So
Unless,
what if you're buying stuff though? Wouldn't that be advantageous?
yeah, so if you could buy stuff and resell it, which is what a lot of people do. I just am terrible at that. Every time I try to do it, I just fucking fail. So, I end up being in the hole a lot. But I mean, all I'm doing is trying to make money, and I'm terrible at it now. And they changed it. I used to be able to make money really easily, and now I can't. So, kind of
Okay.
sucks.
So like, what's the end goal of like? Because you're collecting gold essentially.
Yeah. Well, right
Or
now I'm
some
just
sort
really
of currency.
Yeah, it's gold. I'm just really poor right now. I have like 1,000 gold, which is literally nothing.
So are you just gaining gold to eventually buy better equipment so you can go on
Yeah.
more raids and stuff?
Could be that, or just to have in case I want to like buy mounts or other stuff. I just
Okay.
don't like being poor because then I have to
Who
like
does?
exactly because then I have to go and be like I have to go and get gold when I need it, and I'd rather have it instead of spending that extra time trying to
Okay.
get what I need at the moment that I need it.
So, to redirect the question, my own question back at me, I've been playing sort of a variety of stuff. I've been keeping up with Hearthstone, and but since we did the last podcast, two games have come out which I played a little bit. The Witcher 3, and then Magicka 2. And I haven't really played much League of Legends, and I might see how like go back a little bit once Echo comes out just to see how he performs.
Yeah.
But other than that, the one I've been playing, well, I suppose more would be The Witcher 3, but the one I'm more interested in is Magicka 2, ironically, and that's because I had so much fun in Magicka 1. But I just want to talk about Magicka 2 for a little bit. So that game is way harder than Magicka 1. Like, there are more enemies, you have less health, it takes way longer to cast stuff, and enemies do, like, way more damage. So, like, it used to be where you would encounter this, like... So, the goblins work with these, like, hairy, sort of large creatures, and it used to be in Magicka 1, when you would encounter one of those, you'd just be like, oh, I can just one-shot him really quick with, like, a boulder shot. But in this game, you're like, oh, crap, I can't one-shot him, so I have to pretty much kite this guy around the map while trying to dodge archers. And archers do so much damage in this game. So it's like, everything is just more difficult. And this is only in, I mean... My only experience so far has been in single player, so I don't know if the number of enemies stay the same from single player to multiplayer, or how that scales, but it's just a lot harder and it requires a lot more concentration. They do have different mechanics now though, and it's been a huge improvement. First of all, you can now, instead of having to hold the left mouse button in terms of walking to where you want to go, you can click anywhere on the map and your character will go there, just like League of Legends.
Right.
But what you can do is while you're walking there, you can cast spells and like right click and cast those spells as you're walking there. So you can actually kite people pretty effectively by just sort of walking somewhere and like spraying them with fire as they follow you or something like that.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and it makes movement much more smooth because you can actually, so like if I wanted to walk on a lake, I essentially load up like a frost spell, and I start left clicking to go onto the ice where I'm spraying, and my guy will just keep going forward spraying frost and just keep freezing the ground in front of me. So it's not like that's like a whole clumsy, tedious situation anymore. You can just like easily walk on water and stuff. And then the other thing is that they actually have like preset spells ready to go. So like you can essentially, so you have 4 slots, the 1, 2, 3, and 4 key. And if I wanted to load up like a lightning bolt, for example, I can put that on the 2 key, and to cast the lightning bolt, I just press 2.
That's awesome.
And it'll just cast a lightning bolt. The downside is that those keys have cooldowns, so obviously you can't just like spam lightning bolt. But it's nice because, like, for example, haste was something that you use a lot in Magicka 1 just to move around faster and, I don't know, walk faster places. So instead of having to constantly do ASF space and possibly electrocute yourself if you're wet, you can just press 2 and just automatically cast it, which is pretty nice.
That is nice. Didn't you say that this game is about as buggy as the last one too?
Not really. The only thing I encountered, which I thought was a bug, was when I tried to log on at school, and you actually saw that. But that happened to be a DRM issue where you need to be connected to their servers for single player to even load, for the game to even load, which is really dumb because that's something that you didn't have to do in.
DRM is becoming the standard now.
Yeah.
Which I don't know enough about like code or how the development process is to say whether or not that's necessary. But to me, it seems like it's not.
It's I don't know. It's I think that's more of a corporate thing. Like I think it was like, I heard one time Total Biscuit was talking about this, but like if you take a game development company that's like that's large, so they have like corporate, administrators, whatever, and if you are trying to like justify lowered sales to your boss, for example, you might say, well, okay, we had 1 million sales, which is about the average, but we would have had 1,250,000 sales, except that we know that these 250 games that are being played right now are pirated. So essentially, people will say, okay, well, let's just put DRM in there to regain those lost sales, because then we'll make more money.
Yeah.
So like that's part of it, and I don't ever see DRM being a problem because pretty much nobody. I mean, the only problem you'd run into where DRM is an issue is if you're at a location where the Wi-Fi like blocks certain aspects of the internet. Which is either work or school, which technically you should be playing on there anyway, so whatever.
Or if
no
you
internet.
have Windstream. Yeah, that if inconsistent, terrible internet.
Well, but I mean,
Like, I know
most,
it doesn't
most
have to
people's
be
internet
good.
doesn't cut out though.
Well, yeah, Frontier does. Another
But like even
ISP.
okay, so let's say those like we happen to have crappy internet here. The majority of people in locations like big cities are going to be
Yeah.
fine. So I don't know.
That's fair.
I am somewhat okay with DRM. It's just annoying and a pain in the ass, pretty much.
Yeah.
So whatever on that. But Magicka 2, I want to play it with like one of our friends got it, and I want to play with him to see if like it'll be a little bit easier, and if you can actually do co-op spells, if co-op spells were even buffed a little bit, just to make up for the insanity of the difficulty, because you can cross beams and stuff.
You know what we had to do is get him on the podcast next time, and see how he likes Magicka.
Yeah, or
That'd be
what do you
nice.
mean? Do like a playthrough?
No, like I mean, like
Or what do you mean?
have you guys play it and then talk about it next week?
Oh yeah, maybe.
We'll see.
So yeah, Magicka 2, and then Witcher 3 came out, and that game is like that game is interesting because I never played. Well, I played like an hour of The Witcher 2. But the thing is, the controls were so bad in that game that I never
Just
really
trash.
got a true experience of it. With The Witcher 3, it's interesting because, you know, I thought it would be like Skyrim, sort of like, I don't know, just like fucking around mechanics. But in The Witcher 3, enemies are really difficult, and there's like a level system where like if you're fighting like a level 4, like, I don't know, Wraith or something, and you're happen to be level 1 beginning of the game, you will get fucked. Like, there is a lot of skill in combat in this game. You have to roll at the right time, you have to dodge at the right time, because people will fuck you up. And not only that, but your health doesn't regenerate, like, almost at all.
Shit.
So, like, if you get hit once, and you know that you don't have any food on you to regenerate, or whatever, then you know that that health is gone, like, for the rest of the mission. So it's like, well, shit, now what do I do? So, but anyway, it's a super good game. The world is gigantic, and you have a horse to like help you. So like, there's no problems in terms of boring travel. There's always going to be enemies that pop up and try to engage you, or your horse will just get you to locations fast enough.
Yep.
But like a lot of, I mean, I followed the story a little bit. The story is pretty interesting because it's almost like the game revolves around the Wild Hunt, essentially hunting you. And the Wild Hunt are like a bunch of frozen like zombie corpse things that like insta kill pretty much everything. So it's almost like a Game of Thrones type of story.
I was
where you
just
have-
thinking that.
Where you have
Literally
the,
just
yeah,
thinking that.
where you have these guys that are always somewhere hunting, like you know they're closing in all the time. It's just a matter of like when the time comes. So I don't know.
Damn.
Good game though.
Yeah, I want to play it really bad. I don't want to pirate it. Just because I don't have uTorrent anymore and I don't want to re-download it. That's my only reason.
That's your only excuse.
But that's my only excuse. And I mean, if I wanted to play it enough, maybe I'll have to watch you play it. I would buy it. But I also don't have income yet. Soon, in the next couple weeks, I'll be working. So.
Yeah, summer job time.
Yep. But I also have to save most of that for
College.
college.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's like a week off, so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much just gonna enjoy this first week of summer until we have to start working and get
Summer
up to
camp.
the 30 to 40 hours a week, which is, well,
Yeah.
for me, but for you, it's obviously gonna be less.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing. Do we just want to move on to one of these topics? There wasn't a ton in the news.
Yeah.
There were just a few articles that I saw that were somewhat interesting. Okay,
Let's do the Twitch one.
so this one was actually in the most recent. This was 2 days ago. Twitch decided to ban adult-only games, which those are games where I believe it is 18 and up, I want to say.
Yep.
So, excuse me, if I'm just scanning this article really quick. So it says, let's see. Oh, so it only applies to adult-only games in the United States. That's actually kind of important.
Oh,
But it says games like GTA San Andreas, Manhunt
that's weird.
2. I think Manhunt 2 is a game where you literally just kill people. Like, there's no reason for it. You just go on a murderous rampage. And basically, so the quote is, Twitch says, previously we made game-specific decisions about which games would and would not be available for broadcast, sometimes due to overtly sexual content, sometimes due to gratuitous violence. This is unsustainable and unclear, generating only further confusion among Twitch broadcasters. We would like to make this policy as transparent as possible. And it says, it may have interesting global ramifications, especially in Australia, where it's more common for games to be rated R18+.
So I've actually never. First of all, I didn't know that San Andreas was an AO game.
I didn't either. I think
it
it's more
says here.
nudity in it.
It says here originally rated M, but was temporarily re-rated AO following the discovery of the incomplete hot coffee minigame that could be enabled with a mod, which features sexual intercourse. So, basically, all these games have to be really sexy to be AO.
Yeah.
And I honestly, like, there's a lot of shit going down in some of these games. Like recently, like The Witcher 3, you told me was extremely gory.
Yep.
And surprisingly, it's still only rated M, which, you know.
It's just so stupid that
I don't.
That's a whole sex versus violence censorship
Yeah,
argument.
we could talk about that a little bit. Just the fact that, like, literally you could show as much boob as you want, but the second the nipple comes out, it's like a crime against humanity. And
I don't,
that's in anything. That's literally in anything.
I mean, okay. I don't know that it has to be something more than boob, because I feel like that's in a lot of games. Like in
That's true.
GTA 5.
No, yeah. But
No.
that was me more talking about the general issue, which is more involving like, TV and movies. But like, I think the reason that it's kind of the case is because they need to draw the line between life and porn, like that. Like they need to draw the line between like entertainment and porn. Like literally, there is a difference between the two, which I don't know. You could argue that there doesn't need to be a difference. You know what I mean? Like you could argue that you can play a game and have sex with someone in a game and then just move on with the game, and that's not porn. But I don't know. It's a weird debate topic that I don't. Honestly, I'm 18 years old. I don't know if I have enough knowledge of life to weigh in on this, but
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, with this move, I don't know that anybody's really, like, against it, so I'm not sure that there's really, like, a debate going on. It's just, like, I could definitely see the reasoning, because if if some... Well, actually, that'd be somewhat of a bad argument. I was going to say that if some, like, 8-year-old logged on to twitch.tv, going in there thinking he would be watching some League of Legends, and then stumbled upon this, like, adult-only thing, then, like, that would be bad. But on the other hand, so that same little 8-year-old kid could Google porn and get all sorts of results. So, I think it's more of just an image issue, maybe. It's
a PR thing.
Yeah, it's a debate between, like, Twitch cleaning up what they show, essentially. Not really cleaning up. That implies that there's like a problem in the first place. I don't really think there was. But that there's like a debate between that and like freedom of expression, because they would be like, oh well, if they're gonna ban these games, then what else are they gonna ban? But like, I don't see any problem with that. It's just I don't know. It's fine. Because if you go by rating, like adult let me see. What is GTA 5 rated?
M.
So what is M? Is that 17 plus? 17 plus.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah.
So if they go by like an official rating system, that's totally okay. Because there are very, very few games that are AO,
AO.
and most
I
of
literally
them are M. So
I googled a list of AO games, and there's maybe 30.
yeah, was that on
So,
Wikipedia?
Yeah, there's very little.
Yeah, so this is totally fine. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to be a PR thing.
Playboy screensaver, The Women of Playboy.
Yeah, I
Um,
saw that.
Tokimeki Check-in. Wet, The Sexy Empire.
So exactly, see, all like 80% of them have to be literally porn games to be AO.
These games are most of them are from the 90s, actually.
I know, I was thinking that too. I saw that. That's funny.
So, I don't know, that was a piece of news. I don't know that there's really a debate behind it. It's just kind of, okay.
I think it just ties into the overall debate of censorship.
Yeah.
But this is their decision, and there's no there's no
Nobody's
good
gonna
reason to
fight
argue.
them on it.
Yeah, no one is gonna. So, I don't know.
Dude, okay, so then this other thing. So let me screen share this. The Warcraft
Yeah,
screenshots.
dude.
This is freaking awesome.
So
So
while you do that, I can explain.
yeah, so you
Like-
explain. I just want to. First of all, I'm just going to say for like 2 seconds that this is awesome. Like, this is obviously CGI, but the fact that this is going to be a movie is so awesome. So
Yeah.
it's from Warcraft. Is that based on World of Warcraft? Like, is
So
that,
World
or
of
is that
Warcraft-
two different things?
So here's I'll explain it. So when Blizzard first started, they created Warcraft, which was an RTS game, so very similar to StarCraft 2.
Right.
And the story behind those 3 games is what created World of Warcraft. So all of World of Warcraft, except for the most 2 recent expansions, are based 100% off of the Warcraft 1, 2, and 3 games.
Okay.
So, and maybe a little bit of the third to last expansion. So what they're doing is they're making a movie based on the first. I believe this is the first war. It might be the second war, which is so the first war was Warcraft 1. The second war was Warcraft 2. I think. I don't know a lot about it. So.
Okay. So this, I mean. So is that before the entire World of Warcraft like scene, or is World of Warcraft like a prequel almost?
No.
In terms
So
of
this
lore?
game, Orcs vs. Humans, was the first game, came out in '94. Warcraft 2 came out later. I think it was '95. Warcraft 3 came out in 2002. So, so these 3 games came out before World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft came out in 2004.
Okay, but like
So
the
story-wise,
stories are chronological.
story-wise, it's chronological.
Okay.
Yeah. Although so what they did that was kind of sneaky was they added something called the Caverns of Time into World of Warcraft, which is basically a really good excuse for them to go and redo a bunch of stuff from Warcraft 1, 2, and 3 and put it into World of Warcraft. Because literally, it's just a place where a bunch of mages made this fucking time machine thing, and Nozdormu, which is a card in Hearthstone, is one of the aspects who works with time. So I think he has to do with the Caverns of Time, and so you literally go back and redo like dungeons that happened in Warcraft 1, 2, and 3, and like they kind of relive the story.
Okay.
So.
So I'm wondering what this movie is going to be about, like when it's.
So
Probably Orcs versus
kind of hard to
Humans, I would
explain.
think.
Yeah, so the first one, which is the first war, which happened between Orcs versus Humans. I'm trying to think. It's kind of hard. So like some of these names, I'm looking at the IMDb list as Khadgar, Medivh, Duratan. So these are all like Medivh is part. He has to do with he's like basically the spawn of a very powerful demon that had to do with like Illidan and stuff like that. Duratan, Orgrim, and Blackhand, Grommash are all Gul'dan are all orc leaders for clans, and so they kind of oh man, the lore in this is so ridiculously complicated. But Gul'dan, I think, created the portal from Draenor, which is the orc homeland, to Azeroth, which is the human homeland, and they started fighting. That's basically what happened. And that's the first war, I think, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, that's... So, yeah, it's set to come out in 2016. I think it said June 2016.
Yeah, they were planning on 2015 this summer, but they just pushed it way back, so, which I'm sure is much needed. I hope they do a good job, because this is probably my favorite story in anything, really. It's so intricate and very, just well done, and I think they could really make a really great movie. Here's what I'm thinking. They could make a great movie that caters to the people that play World of Warcraft. That's a good story and, kind of ties into the game and all that stuff. Or they could create a movie that makes them money. And I think they'll create a movie that makes them money. And I don't think it'll be that good. But I'm hoping it will.
Well, I mean, you can't just, okay, it would almost be more advantageous for them to be very accurate with their storytelling, wouldn't it? Because that would mean that, okay, so let's say a bunch of fans of World of Warcraft go and watch this movie, which they will. Then they're going to say, oh, that was a really good movie, and they portrayed it really well, and they'll tell their friends, and, then their friends will go, so...
But, I think it's hard, because I think if they stick to the story, it's not going to be...
Just be confusing?
Yeah, I think it's not... it's not going to be... It's not going to cater to the general population that doesn't play the game.
But you can, you can sort of compromise between those two groups of people, though.
Yeah.
You can, if you introduce the story and set it up as this, you almost do like a Lord of the Rings, where you introduce the world, at least in the first movie, and, for all we know, if this one... You'd almost have, if you really wanted to capture all of the World of Warcraft, stuff, you'd almost have to set this movie up as, an introduction to more movies.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping they'll do. I'm pretty sure it's the first 3 movies. I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure this is the first of 3 movies. They're going to do, a movie for each Warcraft game. I'm guessing.
Okay. So, this is kind of random, but back to that, on Wikipedia, the premise of this movie says that the film portrays the origin story of the initial encounters between the humans and the orcs, with an emphasis upon both the alliances and the horde side of their conflict, featuring characters such as Duro, Tan, and Lothar. Yep. The film will take place in a variety of locations established in the video game series.
Yep.
So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. There's Duncan Jones is directing it, and I think he's a pretty decent director. He did a couple Moon, which won a bunch of awards, and Source Code, if you've ever heard of either of those movies.
Isn't he a WoW player? I think I read on that PC Gamer article that he might have been a WoW player. He looks like this guy,
looks like Stoner.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He looks like some 35-year-old stoner.
He kind of looks like T.J. Miller, if you know who that is.
I don't.
He's a comedian.
No, it was somebody else that was playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Kaczynski, somebody, I don't know how he's relevant.
Let me read the article here real quick.
Oh, actor. Oh, so he's the actor of this orc in this
movie. Oh,
movie.
yep. Okay. So yeah, the orc, that's Orgrim, yeah, so Orgrim. Industrial light and created by, it's fair to say Orgrim looks very orcish indeed. I don't know, this is a very poorly written article. Yeah,
I
so
think that's awesome. I'm excited.
I'm
for
glad
this.
I'm glad that they're making this movie at the time that it's perfect for them to make the movie because CG is a little cheaper now and you can do way more with it. So this looks pretty BA to me,
Yeah.
and it looks fairly realistic for a fantasy movie,
Might
and for
even
something.
like rekindle interest in the Warcraft. Well, not games, but I mean like World of Warcraft, or bring people back. I don't know.
Could the problem with that is I think this will bring back nostalgia, and I think that's why a lot of people quit is because they kind of fucked it up and have been doing. They haven't fucked it up, but they've been progressing to doing more and more things that cater to the general population versus the people that have been playing since the beginning.
Oh.
So, and they kind of tried to compromise with this new expansion because they're bringing back a lot of the old story. They're bringing like Orgrim and Black Hand and all these big orc leaders we're in contact with right now. But I think they didn't do a great job of it. I don't know. It's hard to cater to everybody, and they're at an all-time low, I think, for subscriptions right now, which kind of sucks. But
Yeah. But I mean, like, that's what I was saying. Maybe it'll
yeah,
boost their numbers a little bit more. The other piece. So I don't know how relevant or really interesting this is. But I guess not even a set price point, but more of an estimate for a price point has been released for the Oculus Rift. Now, this article is really jank, and I'm not really sure if it's even that relevant because the article is talking about how it says the Oculus Rift experience will cost around $1,500, says the CEO of whatever company. But like they mentioned that the $1,500 mark includes just buying a new PC. So
what?
yeah, so it doesn't make any sense. So like people were then extrapolating saying, okay, if you buy a $1,200 computer, then this must cost $300. Meanwhile, I would say I don't like care, you know? There's no we already know what the developer version costs. So it's like I'm not really sure if
Yeah.
this warrants just a venture, like some sort of guess.
See, now here it says, meanwhile, Valve and HTC's Vive headset is expected to release at a, quote, higher price point, according to HTC marketing head Jeff Gaddis. So, this makes no sense. So why would you do that? Why would you
I don't
throw
know.
in, before you panic, he's talking about people who don't own a gaming PC, which means the unit itself will be only a fraction of that cost.
So why
does
not
that
just
mean,
say? Why not just like not?
I know.
I mean, that's like saying, you know, oh well, here I'm going to sell you this apple, but it's going to cost you $20 if you also buy a blender so that you can blend the apple and make fucking applesauce or some shit.
Or more like here, the tires for your car are gonna cost you 40 grand, but you also have to buy the car.
Yeah,
Like that's so dumb. I'm not.
I don't know what this article is about. So,
But like the
why...
fact that I'm sure the article's just on the press release that happened at this conference, this code conference. But like why in the world would this guy at a press conference include your gaming PC price into your press release about how much the Oculus will cost? Like this guy, I don't know what the heck he's talking about.
The only reason that would make sense is if he's like, oh, you're going to need, you know, a $1,200 computer, given that our Oculus costs $300 or whatever.
Unless they're literally trying to sell you both an Oculus and a computer, which would suck.
No.
I don't think that'd be the case, but...
So, that was like a random article that I found that was kind of weird.
Oh, don't make me yawn. I'm gonna pass out, dude. I'm so tired.
Okay. And then... the other thing I have is that the Heroes of the Storm is now in open beta. And I'm not entirely sure how relevant that is either, because we were actually talking about before the show, and I said
Yeah.
that I thought all along that it was an open beta because like everybody I knew that wanted to play Heroes of the Storm was able to play Heroes of the Storm.
Played it. Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know why this is important, and I'm pretty sure there have already been tournaments, like with Heroes of
Yeah.
the Storm.
There's been college tournaments
Yeah, and with
too.
like
There's
prize
been like
money.
many tournaments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't
For a
like
game
why
that's-
why is this
Oh.
still in beta?
For a game that's not even done yet, there's already money being thrown at people for playing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just ridiculous to me. It's just ridiculous, man. No, go ahead.
So
go ahead.
I don't know why this is still in beta. It says we will be closely monitoring the game to ensure a positive play experience for everyone.
Have you played Heroes of the Storm?
No, I haven't. I've seen like 5 minutes of it.
It's pretty boring, dude.
It's like, to me it's just another MOBA. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
I think to me, like, it looks like not a bad game, but it just looks like Blizzard trying to like elbow their way into the MOBA market. And it's just like, oh, here's
Yeah.
another one. Like, we already had Smite, Dota 2, and League of Legends. Like, here's another one. I don't know.
And they all have their different twists, except Dota. I think Dota 2 and League are probably the closest.
Yeah.
Um,
There's a
But, like,
couple
Smite-
different mechanics.
yeah,
Smite's
Smite
very
is
different.
Smite is more of an third-person view versus isometric, and then Heroes of the Storm is sort of casual, and they've got some weird game modes. But overall, dude, I'm not impressed, and I'm also kind of like League is still sort of fun, but I'm kind of done with that market. Like, I'm kind of just, I've had my fix.
Of MOBAs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could totally see that. 'Cause you've been playing League for like, I think a year more than me, something like that.
Yeah, I've been playing for a
Oops.
while. I played way back, and I don't remember who tried to get me into it, but then I quit because I was really pissed off. I think the first character I played was Vi. I think she was new.
She's like one of the starting out, you mean?
Yeah,
She's like one of the hardest ones to start out.
I know. I don't know why I picked that one.
I still like people should just start with Garen all the time.
Yeah.
Um
I played Kog'Maw too way back when I started out.
oh, he's not bad to start with.
Yeah.
He's got pretty simple mechanics.
That was okay. Again, I just
Yeah.
like it's hard to get into this game because it just pisses you off. It just like it just sucks, man. But everyone is terrible at the beginning, so
No, yeah. But like I haven't played ranked in at least 4 to 6 months. Or I play ranked seriously because it is so just infuriating, I suppose. Like I think I've devolved to a much more casual sort of gamer than I used to be like 2 years ago.
same here, dude.
Because not only did I used to play ranked like League of Legends, but like I used to be in competitive TF2 a lot, and that was like super tryhard. Now TF2 is obviously not very serious, but I like to just go tryhard at everything I did. And like I've realized since then that I get angry, like I get more angry than the average person at games, and I just realized that if like I don't have to get angry at this game. I don't need to force myself to go into this game and play it. Like
It's honestly more fun just to not care.
yeah,
Just
it's
stick
fun to
around.
just derp around because that's what
Yeah.
games are for.
Yep.
I mean,
It's fun. It's fun to get on Teemo and Evelyn and go into the enemy base and just dick around. It's just fun.
I suppose you could actually. No, well,
I tried that.
They would have.
It's
They would
hard.
have sight on you.
Yeah, it doesn't work. But
From experience. Well, unless you placed a ward once, killed yourself, and then just like TP'd.
yeah,
They wouldn't really know where you are if you just went invisible and waited for people to back and walk past you.
oh, I hate myself. I don't want to be tired.
I
We have to
know.
stay up all night.
That's why I'm gonna take a nap. Stop it.
I'm sorry for you listeners. It's just this. I'm so tired. We're all just so pooped from finals and projects and
finals. I averaged 90. Oh, I think it was a 92 or 93% on my finals, which I only had finals in one class. So
nice. I
great.
got.
Oh, how did you do in trig?
I have no idea.
Trigonometrics. Oh,
No clue.
okay.
Because it doesn't go in your high school grade, so I can't check.
It should.
No. The final
your final is
doesn't-
entire. Oh, I forgot
entirely
about
college.
that.
And it's like 20% of your college grade, which blows.
Yeah.
So if I bombed it, I'm not going to get a good grade. Well, yeah, I am, but...
That's right. And you don't even see your college grade until you get like a piece of paper in the mail, essentially. Don't you?
I think so.
I totally forgot about that.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's our high school life. We're just telling you all the details of
Actually, so I think both of our second semester of high school was super easy, though.
Yeah. And I got killer grades this quarter. Just killer grades.
I mean, I don't know if it matters, but
It doesn't.
Congratulations.
But that's proof that I didn't give up. It's proof that I
Yeah.
wasn't a lazy piece of trash at the end.
Yeah.
Even though I really was.
Yeah. It's just that you could be lazy and get away with it.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I was like, I've talked a little bit with like people in the grade above us that just graduated like freshman year of college, and they basically said your first year of college, like almost no matter where you go, is just essentially another year of high school because you're just doing gen eds, and that's just the easiest
Easy
shit.
stuff.
So
Although you also have to now do your laundry.
I don't care. I'll probably end up doing that this summer. So
I know. Literally, this is hard for me to admit, but I still don't know how to do laundry.
You don't? But you
Nope.
iron your own shirts.
I love to iron.
Yeah.
'Cause that's easy. I iron my shirts all the time. I just don't do laundry. So
Well, you literally separate all of the colors out into like lights, darks, reds, and towels or whatever. And then you just throw them in the laundry thing with some detergent.
all right, that's fair.
And that's it. It's like not
The-
hard.
The stuff that gets me is the separating, because I'm always terrified that I'm gonna come out with a pink shirt and be like, well, fuck.
Well,
but-
there's like
I know,
it's
it's just-
light. It's literally
I'm
lights, darks, and
overhyping
reds.
I'm overhyping it, but
Yeah, but I actually I learned how to iron recently too, and well, more out of my mom's annoyance with having to iron my shirts. So I now do that. All right.
ironing is not bad.
No, it's not. It's okay.
Pretty easy.
If you only have like 4 or 5 shirts to do, it takes like 10 minutes. Ironing, best podcast topic.
I know,
ever.
dude. So you know what? Actually, I am gonna bring up to the guy that told me I need to make my bed. You can go
Yeah,
fuck yourself.
Fuck you. I did. Yeah, I think you linked me to that comment.
Yeah, I commented back because I don't really care.
Yeah. It's your room. It's your
my
domain.
room.
You own.
Exactly.
You own it, kind of.
And
You
I'm
have
sharing.
domain.
Hey, here's the thing. I'm sharing my domain with you on the internet, so you should be proud of the fact that you can even see my room, let alone comment on the fact that I didn't make my bed a couple times.
It's alright.
So
Trying
there's
to find this guy's comment.
Begrudging comment.
It was like, I think it's like episode 7 or something.
It's pretty savage, dude. He was like, if you're gonna do a podcast, you're gonna have to make your bed. It's like, okay, thanks, dude.
Or, well, okay, whatever.
Okay, can I actually comment on that for a minute?
What?
Not just on this guy, but I'm gonna comment on stupid people on the internet. So, I've been thinking about this lately, and there's an article. If you don't, it's called "Admit It, Your Fave is Problematic,"
What?
and it's an article about how even though your favorite comedian, actor, singer, whatever is expected to be, like good to the public and look nice, that person is still a human and is gonna be dumb sometimes, and you don't have to correct their goddamn grammar or the fact that they spelled something wrong or they made a racist joke one time. Like, I just don't get it. Everyone is just so obsessed with the fact that people are wrong, and it just bothers the crap out of me. Like, I used to do that and be like, oh, you spelled "you're" wrong. But now I'm just like, who cares? That person does not care, and that person is not less of a person because you spelled "you're" wrong. Like, that's my rant for the day. I'm just so pissed off. That people
Yeah.
like,
That rewinds back to the whole argument where like people just need to stop being so serious all the time.
yeah,
It's like, I mean, here's the thing. I can relate in certain situations where people are like, "Oh, hey, that's not right." But then again,
Yeah.
I can relate that like, okay, either, let's say somebody posts a racist comment on Twitter. Like
Yep.
either that was just a mistake that they were just like, "Oh, this was not a good idea," and then they just like retracted or whatever.
yeah,
But like you don't need to go, "Hey, hey, hey, man." Like
Yeah.
people are going to be like that sometimes.
I know. It's
I don't know.
like,
It's just,
Like,
I think
and I-
people like, okay, so let's take this racist comment joke or comment example. I think it's the fact that people are trying to tell this person that this isn't okay. Like they're making sure that this person knows that that's not okay, so it doesn't happen again.
yeah, okay, but that's so the reason I think it really pisses me off is because people do it in such a like tool trolly way. They're like, you're such an idiot. Why would you make that? Or like, you're such an asshole. Why would you make that joke? It's like, first of all, you are not the only person thinking that this may be bad. And also, you are not in this person's life at all. You are just some idiot on Twitter that feels like you are responsible for this person's comment, which you're not. That person is either going to figure it out themselves or they're going to have a friend tell them. And like, I don't think everyone on the internet needs to tell them. I'm going to bring up an example because I was listening to a podcast today. I was talking about this. So this lady went to Africa. And this is a horrible joke, right? It's very mean. It says, she tweeted, "I'm going to Africa. Hope I don't get AIDS. Just kidding. I'm white." So, horrible joke. Not a nice thing to say.
Wasn't she fired
And-
before she landed in Africa or
Yep,
something?
she was literally famous. She was famous the minute she stepped onto African soil. She literally turned her phone off and turned it on airplane mode. And then when she got there, she connected to the Wi-Fi at the local coffee shop and found out she was famous. Because she made a horrible racist joke on Twitter.
But she was also working for like a charity organization.
Also her life was ruined. Literally ruined. Because she made a terrible joke on Twitter. And now, like
that was just being stupid.
That was, and
Like
that's
you're
fine,
going
but
to Africa,
here's the
why
thing.
would you make a racist joke?
Here's
You're the
the thing.
minority.
You're allowed to be stupid. We're allowed to be stupid. It doesn't warrant a.
But you're not
like,
allowed to. No, you're not allowed to be repeatedly stupid.
You're right, and I don't think she was. I don't think she continued to make that joke. She definitely deleted it off Twitter. I'm sure she apologized in some way, but I just don't like. You're allowed to make a dumb joke and be like, okay, I'm sorry, I fucked up.
Okay,
right?
okay, but let me ask you this: if people didn't react with outcry like that, do you think she would have continued to make racist jokes?
I have no
on
idea.
Twitter? I bet
Sure.
she would.
I bet she would have.
So
but that's.
in that case, it's warranted.
But I also don't think she should have been fired. And, like, that, that's a thing that, like, everyone nowadays tells you, don't, careful what you post on your Facebooks, because you're going to get fired if they find you. I just think that's so dumb. Like, don't you think that's an invasion of your privacy? Like, even though you're putting it on the internet, and even though, like, I don't
But
know. It's such
nah,
a, like,
no.
I feel both ways. I feel both ways. Because, like, I know, like, if you're dumb enough to post a picture of you, like, smoking weed on the internet, you're dumb, and you need to, that's you doing something illegal and you sharing it with the world. But also, like, I think, like, there's a fine line between, between what is warranted a firing. Like what makes you deserve to be fired?
Yeah.
And
well,
have your life ruined, you know what I mean? Like just be ostracized. Like I'm sure this lady everywhere she goes, they're like, "Hey, that's the or that's the African AIDS joke lady that made that joke on Twitter." Like I'm sure she literally just can't go outside anymore because she's just hated by everybody.
Okay, she was their PR executive.
Okay.
What a fucking stupid thing to
That
say
made it
as
made
a
it
PR executive.
that made it even more hilarious.
So, in this specific
She's a
situation,
PR executive.
in this specific situation, you are a PR executive and you say something like that, you deserve to get fired because that's essentially being a construction worker and building a building that falls down like immediately
Yeah.
upon any gust of wind because you're not doing your job. You're doing the antithesis of your job. So yes, she deserves to get fired.
That's
by
fair.
that. But
That's fair.
like it's a case by case basis. I think in almost all situations, because
Yeah.
like comedians, I don't know.
It's different. No,
it's-
I firmly believe that you're like even though like I firmly believe that every comedian has the right to make whatever joke they want because they're either gonna get laughs or they're not. And if they don't get a laugh, that's because it's either dark enough or just not funny enough. Or if they get a laugh and it's funny enough, then it's fine. It's not that big a deal. So I think like it depends, right?
It
You
really
can't-
has
you
to
can't-
apply to you. Like somebody needs to say something that's really offensive to you, and then you have to see how you react.
That's
It's
yeah,
just
that's true.
it's. So here's the thing, like if something says like the one thing that really offends me, like really hits a nerve,
Yep.
then I have complete and total right to not lash out, but like have a reaction that's made public to whatever this is.
Yep.
The people who get offended at anything and everything, that's the problem.
Yep. And I think the people that try and defend someone else is usually not a good strategy, right? So like if I'm that's not a good example. Like if I'm trying to defend someone that has AIDS in this scenario, I can't really defend that person because I'm not personally offended by that tweet.
Yeah,
right?
no.
So that usually leads to even more turmoil. But like with comedy, it's a little different because I think as a comedian, you literally are required to grow or you're not going to have a job. You're required to grow as both a human being and a comic to say, I'm not going to make this horrible joke because I know that there's going to be at least, one person out there that's going to be really offended. But that's also almost inevitable with a lot of humor. It depends on a person's style of comedy. You can be a huge asshole or you can be super nice about it. And that's just different styles. But like if you're a dick, you're probably going to offend someone, and that's almost inevitable. Right? Like,
yeah, comedians, like, they for sure have a looser leash, so to speak, in terms of what they can say, because that's their job, is to be funny.
Yep.
And humor is almost innately offensive in 80% of situations.
But like if you made a it depends on the joke. Like if I just said like some dumb black racist joke, and that was just offensive, just purely offensive, that's not warranted. But if it's something, comedy is just so hard to explain. It's so hard to just pinpoint and say what makes this funny, and it's hard to then define what makes a horrible joke funny. But it is a case by case basis. I think I would agree with that. That was an interesting.
We've been recording for 59 minutes and 20 seconds, so I'd say could pretty much wrap it up there if you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Cool. Oh, it is still raining outside. Okay, so that was episode 10 of the Filler Feed podcast. Feel free to leave a rating and subscribe and all that fun stuff. I'm going to be starting my summer schedule starting next week, so that's fun and everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, So, bye-bye.
See ya.